hear what you said.
No, that I'm happy that you want to be here and answer my
Yeah,
questions.
my pleasure.
So we are live. So for those who are watching, welcome to the stream. Today we have another great question answer session with the only one, ZSEANO. You can see the beautiful name in the screen. It was supposed, because of private reasons we do it today. That's nothing to worry. So I have 40 questions. So we just will go with the questions before we are here 2 hours later. So
Sure.
yeah,
Thanks for having me.
thank you for being here, and let's make it a great session.
Let's
So
do this.
for the first question, if you still remember, when was your first hack, and what was it?
What, in terms of bug bounties, or like when I was first learning to hack and things like that, or both?
Yeah, just when you were, I don't know how old you were, like 12 years old, and you just suddenly hacked something without even knowing it was hacking. But your very first.
So my very, very first, where I kind of didn't really understand what was going on as such, was on an old website back in 2007. I don't know, I'd have to look that up when the website was around. I don't want to mention it as such, but basically I was looking for rare usernames to find on this website, and I accidentally put 2 forward slashes in the URL, so I visited example.com // and the username, and it ended up spitting out where all their source code was stored, .class, .java files and things like that. And at the time I was very young, and I was just like, I'm not quite sure what's going on here, what's caused this and things like that. But yeah, so that was, in my opinion, my first unintended hack as such, as to something going wrong. And yeah, I was quite young. I mean, a long time ago, probably 11, 10. Yeah, that's when I was getting into computers and programming and hacking and things like that. So yeah, I was quite young.
Yeah, that's very young. I remember when I was 10 years old, I was playing Pokemon or Pokemon cards.
Yeah, me too. It's just, yeah, in spare time, and most of the time, in fact, you find me sat on a computer. I don't know. As soon as I realised, I mean, the internet and the possibilities of making websites, programs, and everything, I don't know. For me, it was mind blowing, and I've been hooked ever since. And here I am, 28 years old, still here on a computer.
Well, I don't need to ask you how old you are, because I know it, 28.
Yeah.
I have completed my OSINT, so well done.
Okay, awesome.
No, but thank you for answering that question. It's nice to hear that you were doing hacking at the age of 10 and was already looking at source code. I can.
Yeah, well, I was just, for me, I saw people cheating on games, and when I looked into how they were doing this, and I saw that it was codes and scripts and things like that. Well, to be honest, their script and code, from what I remember, didn't work very well. So a lot of it was me wanting to do it myself. Like, how, if they can do it, I can do it. That's the mindset I've always had. If someone else can do something, you can easily do it yourself. You just have to put the time and effort and want to replicate it, really.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you, and I think many of the viewers also agree on that. For the second question, you already said that you were hacking at your age of 10. Did you also went to college later? And if you went to college, did you perhaps hacked something during your college years? Accidentally or on purpose? I don't know.
No, so well, I finished school at 16. I went to college for 1 year because the course told me that they was going to teach me programming. So I thought, okay, I can go further on here. But around 6 months into the course, I realised you only actually spend a month of that course learning how to program, and the rest was all Excel spreadsheets, using Word and things like that. And I just lost complete interest. So I finished the year and never returned to college, really, because I kind of just set out my own way, and everything that I've done, really, I've just self-taught myself. Yeah.
And do you see, I don't know if you can answer this question, but do you see a benefit of learning on your own without college, or did you face something during college that you think, that can be handy?
It can depend on the person learning, because obviously everyone learns in various different ways. So college and things like that and courses are very good because you can meet like-minded individuals and they can help you. Because I did an exam once, my Czech team member, because I originally, when I left college, I was like, okay, I'm going to get a job as such. So I did some courses and things. And a lot of people actually after that, because I found that course quite boring as well, but a lot of people after that said, it was nice. They didn't really understand it, but because I was there and they were able to meet other like-minded individuals and other people, and we was all able to help each other, that's what helped them learn. Whereas other people, like myself, I kind of learn a lot better just by myself as such. So it depends on how they learn. But if you're self-teaching, and the thing with being self-taught and self-teaching is that means just, I mean, you're naturally curious, and if you're naturally curious, I always say it makes you the best hacker, because I can look at a website and I have no intention of wanting to find a vulnerability, but you can just see a parameter or something being used in the URL or something happening. It can just make you instantly curious and want to see what is there, basically. And that goes again with self-teaching. So when you're self-teaching, I mean, you naturally want to learn this, you want to learn more of it, and you progress naturally, really. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you are totally right there. It depends. Each person is different, so yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your.
Yeah, I do apologize if I ramble on questions. I'm going to talk a lot and ramble. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, no problem. That's why we are here. You can just give answers as you want to answer. Just share your opinion. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you for sharing that opinion. And yeah, you already mentioned that you were hacking at the age of 10. Did you also knew at the age of 10 that this is the path you want to go, or did it came later in your mind that you thought, this is the way I want to go?
It came a lot later, really. I mean, I first of all set out to be a programmer. I wanted to build software. I wanted to build websites. I really wanted to build things. But then as I was building things and people were finding vulnerabilities and hacking it and cheating at games, and that kind of tied into it as well, that's kind of what pushed me more towards this, because it was like, okay, this is interesting. And so yeah, I got into hacking after program, really, in my opinion.
Well, thank you for answering that question. Yeah, I hear it a lot of times when I talk with people that they first started with a programming job, like yeah, software developer, and then from software developer they go into info security. So yeah,
One big thing with having a developer background and experience is you can get in the developer's mindset. So, for example, I say it all the time, and believe it or not, but I've actually seen it on Barker, where people will sign up and they'll actually miss a bug right there in front of themselves, and they won't find it till later on. But that's where you have to think from a developer perspective, where user experience is key. So when you're logging in, registering, logging out and things like that, you should always instantly assume that they want to be able to control where that user is going to be able to redirect to. So if you're looking for things like an SSRF and you're like, oh, I need to find an open redirect to be able to chain this with, instantly go look at those three common things across multiple subdomains that are in scope, and you're more than likely going to find one. And most companies don't patch them, or if they do patch them, they don't patch them very quickly, so because they're considered low impact and things like that. So there's always going to be one out there, basically.
yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
you.
sorry, I'm rambling again. Sorry, but to basically sum up, that's why the developer experience comes in handy, really, because you can understand what the developers would have coded here, what they're expecting here, and you can understand how the feature works and what should be expecting. So, for example, with numbers, okay, well, how has the developer ensured that this value is actually going to be a number? What are they doing? Are they doing poor filtering on certain characters to prevent SQL injection, etc., etc.? And before you know it, you go down the rabbit hole. But yeah, sorry.
No, no, I totally agree with you. I think if you are coming from a developer background, you will find bugs sooner than someone would just go straight into info security and it goes for bug bounty, as you already know where to look and
Well, that's
the
also
program.
why, with the developer experience, that's why you'll know that just spraying and praying payloads, like, and it also ties into why people, in my opinion, shouldn't just look for one vulnerability type, because you're not going to find an XSS, for example, on a login flow, whereas you might be able to find a way to leak an OAuth token or something like that. That's why I always tell people to hack for the features, understand the features that are in front of you, how they work, how they're intended to work, how you can possibly break it. Certain bugs and things that people have found on similar features. So an example, you're presented with something that you can upload a file. What are the most common things that people have found to be able to bypass uploading limits and filters and things like that? And you can spend the next couple of hours testing one feature, and do you know what I mean? That's the thing with hacking. You can't rush it. You can't, like, I don't know, take your time and enjoy it.
I think you're totally right there. Yeah, it's really great to hear your opinion or how you do approach it. Yeah. Now the next question is probably already answered by you when you were talking, but yeah, let me ask it. Yeah, you are a bug bounty hunter. I think everyone knows that who's watching right now. How much time do you spend average on one specific target or one website or?
So when I first started, I was full-time doing it all the time, hacking. So it's like every day, carrying on my notes from yesterday and things like that. In these current times, obviously of running bug bounty hunter and things like that, I only spend about 2 days of the week hacking, but they are 2 full days. Well, I try to get a full day in when I don't get distracted and things like that. But I would like to do a lot more. It's not that I would like to do a lot more hacking as such, because I really enjoy helping people learn and things like that, and I want to eventually do a lot of things. But yeah, I spend about 2 days hacking, and currently, if I'm honest, I'm spending time on Apple because there is so much out there. There's no way that Sam and Ben and everyone else who was hacking on Apple when they released that blog post, there's no way they would have found absolutely everything. And believe it or not, but I actually found a couple of bugs. I haven't reported a few of them, but I've got one bug triaged from Sam's blog post. And that's one thing that I've always recommended, and it's something mentioned in my methodology, where you create a starting point for yourself, you create a lead. So what have other people found? What are the interesting parameters that are in their screenshots of the parameters used? And believe it or not, but I went and dorked for the parameters that Sam had mentioned in his blog post, where he was able to leak some Apple ID information. And I went and found basically where this ID was used, parameter was used, and found another bug. So to answer your question, 2 days of the week hacking on Apple at the moment.
Speaking about the chain of bugs, did you also read the article that's released yesterday or 2 days ago about some guy who found 35 exploits at companies because he has configured a fake npm dependency, I thought, and
see that.
Yeah, it was really a great story to read, but it's really crazy. 35 companies. Damn it.
My only concern, right?
It's
brilliant that he's disclosed it. It's great, but the only problem is how many bad actors as such are going to read that and realize, we can automate this and find other stuff with this as such, and how many companies are going to ignore the warning and not actually check themselves, because everyone does it. They simply type in the command to install the package, they don't actually verify what's going on, things are misconfigured. Like I say, a lot of people, like Alex said, they put a lot of trust into this, and in my opinion, I do not think it will be the last we've heard of it, because I read it and I was just like, damn, it's one of those things that are right in front of everyone, but everyone just kind of overlooks it as such. Nobody kind of thinks anything, because the way as humans work, we get stuck in such a routine with our lives, and things that are obvious to us, we just miss. And that's why, believe it or not, a lot of people miss bugs on registering and logging in, because to a lot of people with their routine and habits is, you go on a website, you just want to log in and register and get it done with and find out what there is to do on the website, and do you know what I mean? You miss it all basically. See, I don't think that's the last we've heard of that, in my opinion. I think there's going to be, I don't know, I don't want to say somebody's going to get breached by it, but I just think that a lot of people read it like us and raised their eyebrows and said, this is very interesting.
Well, I can blame my own too sometimes that I just run pip install without even checking for sure if it is not a malicious code. So yeah, I'm also to blame here. But
we've all done it. We've all done
yeah.
it.
It's a nice.
That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing.
Yeah, it's really dangerous, and I think as you already mentioned, we will probably hear more about this. But then I think not really great news. I think then companies will be hacked because bad actors will use this tactic too. I think. But yeah, that's a talk for. Yeah, we will see what happens. Yeah, for the next question. Yeah, you mentioned that you were mostly spent 2 days average on one target for Apple, like Apple, you said. Do you find a lot of things in those 2 days, or yeah, sometimes you find nothing, or you find a lot?
So currently not finding too much. If I'm honest, it takes me a while to get a hold of what I'm hacking on as such, because I like to. I don't just like go in with. We all go in blindly as such, and that's the thing. But I like to really understand what's going on. So at the moment, I'm basically kind of mind mapping and piecing together how Apple works. I've been scanning
Are you scamming?
Scanning all their subdomains, finding which subdomains allow me to log in, register, and things like that, which are mobile only. So if I visit it with a desktop user agent, Chrome and things like that, which ones are redirecting me to actually install the app and things like that. And then obviously, because I believe it or not, the bug I found, I actually had to use it on the app on my phone, and that's how Sam found a lot of his bugs as well, because it's untouched territory basically. But so yeah, at the moment, currently not finding too much as such. But when I was doing full time, I mean, I was finding so many bugs. I don't know what I could probably look on my Bugcrowd or HackerOne stats. I don't know how many I found in a day. But I remember on Bugcrowd, I went from having no rank all the way to number 2 in just like 8 or 9 months, because I was just solid hacking. I remember being on holiday in Greece, and my girlfriend was asleep, and I was just sat outside in the balcony hacking because it's just addictive, basically. But yeah, it varies. I mean, I kind of I try not to, even if let's say I don't find a bug, I don't try to put a damper on myself, because I might just be testing some dry functionality, something that doesn't really do anything interesting, whereas in a couple of days I might stumble upon something that's really juicy and leads on to like 6 or 7 bugs, or one really critical bug. And do you know what I mean? You might get like a 40k payout, and then technically you're done for the month, really. So I'm working on stuff. I've got leads. As long as I've got leads, I'm happy. If I look at my notes and there's nothing for me to play with and nothing to carry on, then I panic.
You think, oh no.
Yeah, then it's like, okay, what's happened here? Why do I have nothing to do? Like, I mean, I've got notes on so many companies that I pick the target that I've hacked on, check out the notes, see what was giving me interesting behavior, what was happening, things that aren't working now but are going to work one day. So for example, you might see some features which are due to come out, and you can see them referenced somewhere, or some sort of link to it as such, but it's not actually available. So that's where it's like, okay, well, I'll actually come back to that in a while and see what's happened. And yeah, but yeah, to answer your question.
Yeah, well, thank you for answering that question. And yeah, it's clear that you sometimes are going crazy behind your computer, and sometimes you are relaxed and finding the bugs.
I saw somebody in the chat say, "Good thing to know we're not the only ones who panic." Honestly,
yeah, I see it.
It happens all the time. I'll go weeks without a bug sometimes. Sometimes I find lots of bugs. You kind of got to just not put the pressure on yourself. Set yourself some goals and targets as to what you want to play with and find. And maybe it's trying a new tool, trying a new subdomain scanner and things like that. Don't put the pressure on yourself. Enjoy the process. Trust me. Hacking is really fun and addictive.
Yeah, that we all know. Do you also use specific kind of tools or tooling without Burp Suite, of course? I think everyone uses Burp Suite, but besides Burp Suite?
the most common like tools for like subdomain scans and things like that. I have various tools to scan JavaScript files. I have another tool called Any Changes, where basically I just input a list of URLs that I want to monitor for any changes, hence why it's called Any Changes. But no, a lot of my hacking is just manual. I'm dorking on Google. I'm looking around, seeing what's what, understanding how things are pieced together. Because say for example, like if I find a developer subdomain, my instant thought for like developer.example.com, and you can create apps or you can do whatever, and there's documentation and things like that. For some reason, something inside me, like my hacker senses, always tells me to just go onto GitHub and start dorking for this subdomain and things related to this and keywords, because I always find developer type and docs and things like that always end up on GitHub somehow, and it always tends to lead on to other stuff, maybe some API keys that do some stuff, some parameters and things. Just I don't know. It's just one tip I've always recommended, really. I don't know.
So everyone who's watching, go to GitHub and find those. No, it's a joke. Don't do it.
Wayback has so much more valuable data, in my opinion. I mean, there is still so much. I mean, there's a lot of tools out there already to scan Wayback. So like Tom's tools and things like that, where you can get parameters and URLs. But in my opinion, and I've said this for a while, somebody tweeted at me if there was a tool made. I did start it but never got finished. But basically, let's say for example you wanted to look at TripAdvisor, and you can go on TripAdvisor and look at, if you go on tripadvisor.com/robots.txt, you'll see so many endpoints. If you then scan Wayback Machine for all of for robots.txt on TripAdvisor for the last 10 years, you'll get a hell of a lot more. And that's how I found so many bugs. But to lead on from that, it would be interesting to scan each of the endpoints you find and go back in time and find like references to JavaScript files, not JavaScript files, like parameters that are in the actual code in the HTML raw there, because they're not actually being picked up by any tools as such. Do you know what I mean? So you could visit, for example, tripadvisor.com/example, and in 2021 there's nothing there, but in 2015 it worked, it loaded. But when you viewed it, so you'd have to like right click, view the source, you saw there was some raw JavaScript which might be obfuscated, encrypted and things like that, whatever. And it might be a parameter that is still used, because one massive thing on TripAdvisor that helps me net so many bugs is I scanned, because there was over 7,000 endpoints in the robots.txt file.
Whoa.
So that's why I built my input scanner and JS scan, because I scanned every single endpoint for all the parameters and things like that. And then I tried all these parameters that were found on every single endpoint. And it ended up leading up to so many bugs. These parameters weren't referenced anywhere on certain pages, but because I found them elsewhere on the web application, and a developer potentially copied some code over or included some code that shouldn't actually be there because it doesn't do anything that page, but it was still there, so it was vulnerable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can
there was a lot to
understand
digest there. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a lot to digest there. But yeah, Wayback Machine honestly has so much data. I highly recommend people spend some time looking in the history of websites, and if somebody could make some sort of tool, I'm gonna tweet out after this and gives people an idea to make it. And if they make it, they make it, and I'll chuck some money at them for their time to say thanks.
Well, at least you do not throw 7,000 lines at me, so yeah, that's, I'm lucky with that. No, but yeah, it seems really a lot, 7,000 lines to scan every line individually. I think I don't know how much time you lost on that, but I think 1 day perhaps, or less, or more.
Well, no, from having the 7,000 endpoints in the robots.txt file, that's where I use examp locally, because you can run PHP locally. So I set up a PHP redirect script. So it will visit the script and redirect the website. And so I simply inserted all of the TripAdvisor URLs that I found, ran intruder, so it would visit my URL, redirect to the TripAdvisor link. And from there, I was able to mass grep and mass search through and see what was interesting and things like that, really. And I was just using Burp. And some custom tools.
Always the old good burp.
Yeah, I'm still using 1.7 37. That's the current version I have open right now. I can't say that version, the latest versions are bad because I haven't actually tried them. I just personally, I'm a big believer in why fix what isn't broken. I mean, people buy new cars every 2 years, but I will drive my car until it possibly does not work anymore and the door's fallen off
So you
because do you know what I mean? What's the point of replacing something that is still working? And in my opinion, the older versions of Burp work absolutely fine. So
I can imagine it. You sitting in your car till it really can't run, and you are sitting there on the way with just your your how do you say it in English? Your wheel in your hands.
my rear view mirror.
Yeah, with your yeah. Everything is gone, and you sit there waiting.
I've driven cars around with no heaters at work, and it's fine in summer until you get to winter, and then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I should probably get this fixed. That's just me. That's just me. But yeah.
I think you are not alone, so. Yeah, let's go to the following question. Yeah, do you perhaps have any tips or tricks for those who are watching for bug hunting? Yeah, any methodology you are following or?
So I actually am doing a talk for a conference that asked me to, where I'll be giving some cool tips and tricks. However, you've asked me here, so I'll give you the answer here. So some tips and tricks is, let me think. I mean, well, I could end up speaking for the next half an hour. Do you know what I mean? Because it's sometimes that's just how I am, and it's not straightforward as such. So one is a tip and trick. One tip is to, when you pick your target, first of all, go see what everyone else has potentially found and disclosed. So, for example, with Apple, Sam and other people have disclosed their findings and what they're finding. Go digest that so much, but take away where he found it. So, for example, he mentioned that he was using his iPhone device to find functionality. So go do that. Trust me, because there is some interesting stuff on there. A lot of it is SSL pinning because, well, it's iOS. If you can get around that, then yeah, you can do it. Two, what else you can take away from other people's findings and creates a lead as such is the parameters that they're mentioning. So I think it was like XDSID, something like that Sam was mentioned in his blog post. So go try that on all the API calls you find on Apple and things like that, and things that look similar. Because if you look in the URL, I can't remember it from the top of my head, but if you look in the URL that is in Sam's blog post where he could use this header to get access to anyone's information, there's certain keywords in that URL that if you actually then go dork for it and look for it on GitHub, you will find more stuff, because you'll end up probably finding the same bug I found. In fact, I think it's been fixed as such, but you'll end up going down the same route. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, first tip, digest what everyone else has seen and go from there. Don't rush it. So don't spend the day and feel like you've gone through all the features and things like that and you're like, I've not found anything. Take it step by step, write lots of notes. So when you're testing each of the features, what is the expected functionality here? What did you try? What was the outcome? I mean, you might try some HTML tags and they might only get rid of script tags, but H2 tags are staying there. So if you can't get the XSS to work there, well, first of all, I'd say to you, okay, it's vulnerable to XSS, but if you can't get it done, make sure to always write it down, what actually was going on here. So you can always come back to it and try it again, things like that. Because a lot of people don't write enough notes, in my opinion. Like they go through it very quickly, very quickly. Like I say, I've had people message me on Barker. They said, I've hacked on Barker for a week every day. I've gone through everything. I've missed everything. I've only found like 15 bugs. There's over 100. What's going on? But when I tell them to take it step by step, understand what's going on, then it makes more sense to them. And also the last trick would be to think about how the developer would have coded this. So if, for example, you visit developer.paypal.com, you can test webhook functionality. And what a webhook functionality is when somebody buys something on PayPal, they'll send you a webhook message to say, hello, so-and-so has bought this, and you can handle the information and do what you need to do. So what a lot of people have done, and if you go on Google and search webhook SSRF, you'll see that people have found SSRF vulnerabilities in webhooks. So when you're now testing on this website and you see a webhook, your instant thought is, okay, there's going to be some sort of server request call made here. Maybe it's vulnerable to SSRF. And if you try the most common things and it blocks it or it doesn't work, that's then when you start thinking, okay, well, what's the developer done here to prevent this? Have they hard coded to block localhost or whatever else? And then that's where you start trying to redirect and things like that. So yeah, it's really understand what's in front of you. And that's my 3 tips for now, without anything in front of me from the top of my head.
Oh, thank you for that answer. It was really a great answer. I think many people can use it if they want, of course. And yeah, it's really beneficial. Let's go to the next question.
Sure.
Yeah, you already mentioned that 2 days a week you are focusing on one target. Is bug bounty right now your full-time job, or do you also have another job besides bug bounty?
No, this is all I do. Bug bounties and bug bounty hunter. That's it. I do obviously a bit of consulting for some companies, but with coronavirus at the moment, it's been a bit tough.
Oh, no.
Last year, I was doing some consulting with companies because it ties into my bug bounty work, though, in my opinion, because obviously I strongly believe that crowdsourced security and bug bounties and things like that are really good value for companies. But I also believe that companies need some sort of training to be ready for hackers and understand what's coming in, because what a lot of companies are doing is they're kind of just, I don't know, churning. Somebody will report one XSS, and instead of working out why they're so vulnerable to XSS, what's gone wrong and things like that, they kind of just say, thanks for your report, here's your money, and then next XSS, and before you know it, the 50 XSS reports paid out over 100 grand for the same vulnerability type. Whereas in reality, they should say, okay, well, why don't we have a CSP in place? What's going on here? Why is this such a problem? Because in the long run, as bug bounties mature and companies do start taking security more seriously and fixing things and not introducing so many vulnerabilities, they'll be able to pay the hackers a lot more money for the bugs that are found, because the bugs will be more impactful. The companies will be able to say, okay, we respect this hacker's time because we're very confident that you're not going to find any XSS. So if you do find some XSS, then you're going to be able to get paid this, etc., rather than the current state of the market where, like on BugCrowd, they class every XSS on the VRT as the same. Like, you know what I mean? Which I don't agree with. They do say that if you create some sort of proof of concept and prove the impact of your XSS, then they will increase the priority and you'll get paid more money. But again, why should every hacker have to explain the impact of XSS to a company? They should understand the impact of XSS already. They should get this XSS report and they should be able to look in their internal documents wiki and be like, okay, what does this XSS have access to? What are our cookie states? What can they do? And be able to determine the impact, rather than having to be told, hey, I found XSS, I can extract the cross-site request forgery token and change their email. There's account takeover. Well, of course, the cross-site request forgery, the cross-site scripting can access the cross-site request forgery token and do that. They're able to run XSS in the browser, so that's a given. Whereas if they had some sort of defense in place to prevent it and you could do the chain, then yeah, I mean, you should prove that impact. But in most cases, most companies will let XSS do absolutely everything and run wild, in my opinion. So yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling again.
Oh, thank you for answering that question. I also saw in the chat that someone is asking why I am not using the game chair. Yeah, this is just the chair that I use when I am
Hey, you've got the exact same chair as me.
You also have the chair?
Yeah, the exact same chair.
And you are using it now?
Yeah, I'm sat on it right now.
Ah, Oh,
Wow, that's crazy. What the hell? Wow. I didn't even notice it, but I just saw it there and I just looked over and I was like, oh, hey, what the hell?
Yeah, I only use it when I'm sitting behind my computer, but for interview, I mostly use this chair. I don't know.
That's
It's
so
it's my
comfy, isn't it?
interview chair. I don't know, but yeah, it's a great chair. The game
Of
too.
course. Yeah, I love it.
It's better for your back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for answering that question and for the chair story. Uh, I saw on your Twitter that you created something called Bug Bounty Hunter. Yeah, I know what it is, but perhaps there are viewers who doesn't know what it is. Yeah, can you explain to us how did you started it and why and yeah, what is it exactly?
Yeah, sure. So Bug Bounty Hunter is well, it's not just a paid service, so you can access it for free, and there's lots of challenges on there, as well as a big web application which is going to have a new update coming out soon called Fast Food Hack-ins, which works just like a real web application, and there's real findings on there for you to find. There are also challenges where it will tell you there's XSS here, can you find it? But what fast food hackings is there's no, hey, there's XSS here, there's this here. It's about understanding what's in front of you. And that's then what the membership is, which is Barker, which is basically a much bigger fast food hackings with lots more bugs, lots more functionality. You also get triaging from me, access to the Discord, levels and perks. So if you find 50 unique vulnerabilities, then I'll ship you a custom hoodie and a signed hard copy of the book. If you reach 75, then you get endorsement, and we recommend you for bug bounty programs and things like that. So yeah, it's to help people, because a lot of websites at the moment out there are telling people, hey, there's XSS here, go find it, and then everyone says they're just going to focus on XSS, for example, and they don't understand it. Whereas my approach is understanding the features and the flow and the mindset, and that's what I've also got. Because a lot of people, I know this is on one of your questions, but a lot of people have asked me that they wanted to get my book standalone, and it's fine. I did do that to begin with. I've taken it off for now because I strongly believe that with my methodology, I want people to be able to read my methodology and the flow and understand the mindset, and then to be able to instantly practice on Barker and understand the flow and practice it and learn it, because after a couple of months, in my opinion, they can go crush it on bug bounties, and yeah, they can do very well. That's why I didn't really want to give it away, sell it by itself, because I strongly believe people would read it and be like, okay, I want to go actually practice this, and in my opinion it will resonate and sit more, and you'll learn more from being able to read than instantly practice. And yeah,
Yeah,
so that's what Bug Bounty Hunter is, to help you connect the bug to the bounty. Basically, there's guides, tutorials, lots more content coming out. I'm currently running it by myself. My brother's helps me make Barker, but yeah, I do all of it myself, run it myself, triage it myself, support, marketing, the lot. So that's why the rate of content is relatively slow. I'm going as quick as I really can. I have so much in the works. For example, a lot of people are signing up as hackers, but I'm also going to offer people to sign up as an analyst. So let's say you don't want to actually learn how to hack, and you've got a job as a security analyst, and you want to be able to practice triaging bugs, but not only practicing triaging bugs, but you want to be able to understand the impact behind vulnerabilities and learn how to replicate them. So I'm going to be soon opening up analyst positions so people can basically practice triaging and things like that, really.
that's really interesting. Yeah, I was.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was looking at to buy a copy of your book, but yeah.
Send me your email. I'll invite you for free, man. Send me your email
That
on Twitter.
will be really great. I was looking at your content, and yeah, it seems really great. I am no bug bounty like you. I don't have time to spend 2 days on it, but yeah, I definitely want to learn more about bug bounty.
And we can do some giveaways for your viewers as well. In
Yeah.
fact, I mean, we've got this person in your chat, just a guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I see him.
Seems really cool. Yeah, I mean, I'll hook him up with an invite as well. If you're on Twitter or anything like that, then just tweet at me and I'll message you or DM you or something like that. All I need is your email address and I'll send you an invite. But please don't send it in the Twitch chat.
No. Of course, please don't send it
Just do
here
a
in the Twitch chat.
random nice giveaway, because why not?
Well, really, thank you much for me allowing you. That you allow me on your platform, and I think Just a Guy also probably wants to say thank you. I think it will popping up soon.
No problem. My pleasure, man.
Well, my next question was, of course, leading to this. How can people who want to do it registrate?
I have got lifetime membership on bugbountyhunter.com/register. It's currently priced at £250 for the lifetime. There's no expiry or anything like that. And what you get access to is, like I say, the entire Barker web application for you to hack on. You get access to our Discord, lifetime access to my book and things like that. The Discord's a thriving community. There's so many people in there, and I'm constantly adding new updates and things like that, really. Oh, it looks like Just a Guy actually won one on Christmas Eve. Look at that, he's won two. So, all right, Just a Guy.
I see it.
Pick anyone you want in chat or yourself. You can pick anyone you want, and we'll give it to them. It's fine if he's.
I will. After this chat, I will buy a free subscription to my channel, and the one who wins will also. I will also ask his mail, and then he also wins. A subscription to ZSEANO. So
let's be really cool and let's make sure nobody loses out. If anyone who's watching this stream right now, if you want to yourself, so you're the streamer, Mr. Co. So if you find a way to get people to give you their emails and then pass them to me, anyone who's viewing you now, I'll invite them all to Bug Bounty Hunter.
So guys, you all heard it. Yeah, message me, and please private, not in this chat, of course, not public, but send me your email and I can forward it all in one email to ZSEANO instead of receiving thousands emails and he needs to check every email one by one. It's better to.
Yeah, why not? Let's do a giveaway for your nice viewers. Let's invite them all. It's cool. Let's get them on.
Well, in name of our viewers and me, of course, thank you really much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I think they are all happy. We're going
to see the viewers jump up to 100 now. This is only eligible for people who are in the chat right now. All right, there was I saw 13 people, so we should get no more than 13 emails.
Suddenly you get 2,000 viewers. Oh, I'm not free.
Well, you know what I mean? People are on the stream, they're showing support for you and me, that what comes to the chat. So I love giving back to the community and helping people. So yeah, it's my pleasure to everyone. Well,
one last time for those who are watching right now, at this moment, send me your email and I will forward it to ZSEANO. It's only those who are watching, so don't share this and spread it.
Keep it a secret.
Base 64, please.
But yeah, my pleasure.
Now let's go to the next question before we have 1,000 viewers. I also saw you wrote your own book, ZSEANO's Methodology. How came you up with the idea to write your own book, and how is it to write a book?
Well, I wouldn't say. I guess it's a book because I've printed it, but it's kind of more of a guide. But what prompted me to write it is I was getting asked a lot of the same questions: how to do this, how to do that, what should I do, where should I start? So that's why I created ZSEANO's Methodology and why it's led on to me creating Barker, because I kind of just over time was just writing down how I'm hacking and exactly what I'm doing. And yeah, that's kind of how I came about it. If I'm honest, I was very nervous to release it because I don't consider myself like an amazing hacker, but I get that a lot of people look up to me, and I'm really, really grateful for the support, and I absolutely love my fans, and I do my best to help them do well in bug bounties and well in life and be there for them and things like that. And I didn't want people to feel like, oh, you read my book and you're going to instantly get rich and find loads of bugs, because honestly, that's not the case. It's not secret source material. It's just a flow checklist to help your mindset understand how things work and the way you should go about it. Because honestly, you go apply that on bug bounty platforms and programs and
Yeah.
things like that, and you go step by step, it will help you a lot.
Well, thank you for answering the question. And just to
My
mention,
pleasure.
the viewers were really increasing to 80, so I don't hope I get 80 message, but we will see.
Words getting around. Words getting around.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for answering that question. Let's go to the following one. You already mentioned it, I believe, earlier in one of the questions, but for those who are just popping in, how do you manage your time between, making content for your platform, perhaps adding chapters for your new version of your book, I don't know, or and doing bug bounty, of course.
I'm absolutely terrible with managing my time. Being brutally honest, I'm terrible. I don't manage my time very well. No, I kind of just wake up, check my to-do list. I normally try to write myself a to-do list the night before for what I do the next day. So I'm not waking up with, okay, what do I need to do? So I've always got myself a to-do list, and I always make sure my to-do list is done. And anytime I do finish my to-do list, if I ever do finish it early, that's where I'll have a little bit of hacking time or a bit of gaming time and time to myself as such. But yeah, honestly, terrible at managing time. Like, I'm late for everything. But in terms of prioritization, I make sure that what needs doing does get done. And I feel like I can't sleep until it is done if I've made sure it needs to be done.
How much hours do you sleep average at night?
I make sure to get my full 8 hours sleep, because I've learned that sleep is the most important thing for us humans, because it's a time where our muscles and everything regenerates, and
Totally true.
we basically heal. So you should never ever skip out on sleep. Obviously, if you've got a newborn baby and you can't help but wake up and you can't get some sleep, then it's understandable. But if you can get 8 hours sleep, you should try get 8 hours sleep.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I just wrote a book or read it in a book. It's called Why Do We Sleep? I don't know if you know that book. Probably you do.
No, I don't know. Sounds interesting though.
It's a book. It's about sleep and why you need 8 hours sleep, and you have REM sleep and NREM sleep, and it's all explaining in the book. But since I have read the book, I also try to sleep 8 hours, but not less than 7. I always try to at least sleep more than 7 hours. I hope 8.
I try to wake up naturally as well. So instead of setting alarms, I just let myself naturally wake up. I find it works a lot better. I'm so groggy if I wake up to an alarm. I hate it.
The book also covers that topic, that it's better to wake up with the sunshine flowing in your room, and that you will wake up because it will be light in your room, then putting an alarm that will make sound, and your eyes just boom. Whoa!
Yeah. That's probably why I struggle to get up in the mornings, because I've got blackout curtains, and I wake up and I'm like, what time is it? Is it like 2 a.m? Because it's pitch black in here. Maybe I should get some different curtains so I can let the sun naturally go in. But yeah,
it's really nice to just wake up without an alarm. Or
definitely.
I put an alarm, but I always wake up 10 minutes before the alarm goes off. So I think, oh wait, I have 10 more minutes. But I already wake up. So
yeah. Do you know what? Just randomly, something that blows my mind every time. If I ever go to bed and I need to really be up in the morning, and like you say, set an alarm. Like you say, I feel like your brain or something knows that you need to be up in 15 minutes and your alarm's going to go off, and you just sort of naturally wake up before the alarm goes off for some reason. It's like, I don't know how your brain knows what the time is, but you just, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if that happens to anyone else, but it happens to me, and I'm always mind blown.
Yeah, the same here. It's really weird how we humans and our brains works.
It's crazy. So I got off subject a bit.
I can also recommend the book Thinking Fast and Slow. thinking fast and slow. It's about
Okay.
why we humans see the color red immediately without thinking. You can say it's red. But if someone asks to you, can you calculate 7 multiplied 7? Then you need to think some seconds before directly answer. So sometimes you answer straight away because, somehow your brains know it directly without thinking. And some other times your brains need to think. And he's explaining why it happens. And it's
I'll
interesting.
check it out.
Now let's go to the questions. The next one. Is there something in your past that if you have the chance to redo it, you want to redo it? Or is there nothing that you know about?
I don't know if say it's a regret as such, but I do regret what happened between me and TripAdvisor with them banning me from their program. I wish I could go back and possibly make that not happen, really. I still believe that I'm not the one in the wrong, and 2 years, I emailed BugCrowd not so long ago saying, hey, it's been 2 years since they banned me. Is there any chance we can put this in the past? And I got a straight flat no. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'd like to go back and change that. And I don't know.
Is it that worse what happened, or some miscommunication, or if you don't want to talk about it, then of course we can.
Yeah, so I reported a bug to TripAdvisor that they closed as working as intended. So they said they wouldn't fix it. And I believed it had impact, and it was a very interesting vulnerability as such. So I said, okay, do you mind if I blog about this? Writ the blog post, sent it over to them for approval. I got no reply apart from "you are banned. You're never allowed to report to us. That's it." And I was like, "What?" So obviously, then I was going to go into some more detail, but I won't go into any more detail because I don't want to bring up history and past. But
no, of course.
It didn't go very well. I don't believe the platform they were using had my corner. I wouldn't say threatened as such, but I wasn't treated very nicely, in my opinion. And I was a bit more disappointed. I was quite disappointed, really, that 2 years on, they couldn't put things behind them.
Block you.
It's a bit, Because I don't believe in banning somebody from a bug bounty program or anything like that, in my opinion, because, what happens if I accidentally discover a vulnerability? I've got no way to tell them, and if anything, the power's kind of in my hand, because I wouldn't be reporting to them via the bug bounty platform because they banned me. I would be like, okay, well, it's on my terms, and I'm going to disclose this in a couple of days or 90 days, you know what I mean? So obviously you wouldn't get the bounty, but yeah.
Yeah, I also don't understand why they block you, because your intention is to help them solve the problem. So
yeah, exactly. And they could have just simply said no to the blog post.
Exactly.
But yeah, it is what it is.
Yes, some companies. I also had not this,
companies,
but
they don't like being proven they're wrong as such. They don't like being shown that they're vulnerable. I don't know.
Yeah, they.
Out on us.
but then you can ask them you are opening a responsible disclosure, but you are angry on me that I use your own responsible disclosure. So then close the responsible disclosure because you are not happy that I'm doing it. So
I will tell you what the bug is, but I have no idea. Like, to get your opinion on what you think, but I have no idea if it's been fixed or not, and it might still work. And
it's
basically right. You had to get approval, and you had to do identity checks to prove you are this person, and they had introduced something to generate revenue that which I was able to use to bypass all these verification checks, and that enabled. They basically said this is working as intended. We have things in check to make sure this won't happen. So,
it's.
But that's what I'd go back and change. I would ask to not disclose it. But if I'm honest though, carrying on from that, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but a lot of what's happened to me has been a big driver for what's made me want to create Barker, because now instead of me having to ask companies for permission to disclose bugs, what I'm doing is I'm just putting all of the bugs I found in Barker for everyone else to find. Because then when they find it, it gets disclosed to them, then they found it themselves, you know what I mean? But no one knows the company. I've not had to get permission. I've literally created my own code, so I own the code,
Yeah.
and I've purposely put this vulnerability that I found on this company on Barker. It's a real finding, you know what I mean? So then it can help people, and I don't get in trouble.
Yeah, I can't wait to start with your own platform. I would definitely
I'm looking
probably
forward to it.
start this Saturday, as I have nothing to do this Saturday. So yeah, I will probably
I'm
start.
looking forward to it.
But yeah, it sucks that after 2 years they still, don't
Yeah,
unblock
it is
you.
what it
But
is.
yeah, it is what it is. There are plenty of other websites to hack,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's their problem, not yours. Or yeah.
Exactly. And they're not welcome on my bug bounty platform when I open one. If they're not letting me report bugs to them, I'm not welcoming them if they want to join. Okay.
You block me, I block you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, let's go to the final question. Then we jump to the 5 questions of shame. And then I saw people also has questions, so we jump to them.
Yeah, sure.
For the last question, the serious question, do you have any advice or tips for the viewers who want to join the InfoSec field? So people who are really beginning with bug bounty, so no people who already have some experience, but people who really want to start bug bounty like today or tomorrow.
So the number one tip for that, to summarize, because if not, I'm going to be here for hours giving tips and advice on that one because it's a long one. But the best advice I would give people is to not rely on bug bounty platforms for your success. A lot of people are sold the idea that you need to join HackerOne, BugCrowd, etc., hack on VDPs and be active and prove you can hack and give a free pen test, and then they'll invite you to private paying programs. Most program invites you receive are going to be absolute garbage. Like, they have either really rubbish response times, the payouts aren't good, it's just not an interesting scope. And that's, believe it or not, where a lot of people enter burnout. They're like, well, I've hacked for 4 or 5 months, I know what I'm doing, but they don't have anywhere to hack on. So that's where you've got to be proactive, in my opinion, to succeed in bug bounties. So, for example, when you look at Sam and all of them hitting Apple's bug bounty, no one was hitting Apple's bug bounty until they released that blog post. They could have kept that to themselves and absolutely rinsed it dry and not told anyone. And now consider how many other companies out there welcome hackers that you don't know about, that other people are making absolute fortune on. For example, what was it, fossil.com? They rewarded somebody with a watch. I had no idea that they welcomed hackers. I'm sure if you looked into it, you could have found it. But that's where use your recon and your curiosity to go and find these programs that aren't on bug bounty platforms and companies that are welcoming hackers and things like that, because that is where a lot of success is happening. So yeah, that's my tip.
Well, thank you for the great advice. Just one more question that came in my mind.
Sure.
I don't know if you heard about it, but HackerOne and TryHackMe are publishing some challenge or room. I saw 20 February, and you can solve challenge on TryHackMe, and then you can get private invitations. I believe something like that. I saw. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
or what's your opinion?
That's a good incentive. Yeah. I've always believed in the sense of, instead of making hackers go and hack on VDPs to prove they can hack, where they should be able to have some sort of proving ground as such. So as long as, in my opinion, the challenges, I mean, I haven't checked it out on the TryHackMe. Is it live now, the challenges? Like, is it active now?
Yeah, I can search for it. No, it's not today. It's the 20, I believe. So 9 days from now.
I'll check that out when it comes out. But I mean, as long, because like I say, a lot of CTFs and hacking boxes and things like that. And there was a tweet, I believe, from Christy Vlad, where he got a lot of like stick for it. But I could understand where his tweet was coming from, because with CTFs, hacking boxes and things like that, do you know what I mean? You've got like CVEs. Is my Zoom thing telling me that our free meeting's going to end soon? No, I don't know why my Zoom thing's flashing. So like with CVEs and things like that, like you're told what is here as such, and you go in that route, running exploits as such. Whereas with bug bounties, it's not. Don't quote me on something. It's not real hacking as such. That came out wrong in my opinion. The way Christy, how do you pronounce his name? Put that. But in the terms of bug bounties, you are going at it blindly. You have no idea what's what. You have to actually think for yourself. You're not told this is vulnerable to XSS. There's SQL injection here as such. And that's a big part, in my opinion, of hacking as such. But yeah, no, I'll check that out from Try Hack Me. It's a really good incentive. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I shared you the link, and I also shared the link in the chat, so you can check it.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah, those were the questions. Now we go to the...
yeah, I just see in the chat, I love HackerOne, but the invites from HackerOne are trash. Like I say, that's what a lot of people will find out. But no disrespect to them. Maybe they're making improvements and what have you as such. But like I say, a lot of people will spend time on Hacker 101 and other things, doing CTFs, hacking on VDPs, and then they don't get invited to good programs as such. And that's why be proactive. Do not rely on bug bounty platforms to send you invites. Go look at disclose.io. There's a massive list of programs. Trust me, there will be a program out there which nobody is looking at, which you can find a lot of bugs on. Trust me. You just gotta find it, put some time in, and have some hunting time.
Yeah, well, thank you for the great advice. I will try to be more bug bounty too. I unfortunately do not have 2 days full time, but yeah, I can try at least one day. Yeah. But yeah, thank you again, and yeah, let's go to the 5 questions of shame, and then we will answer the questions from the people who are watching. I already saw some questions. Yeah, the first one. Which hero will you be? You can choose any hero from comics, movies, books, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, hero you can think of.
I'm going to be Superman, I guess, because he likes to save people and help things, and yeah, I'll be Superman. Not a fan of his costumes, so you will not see me dressing up in that. Although, funny story, one New Year's party, I actually am dressed up in a Superman outfit, and I look ridiculous.
Now I see an image with someone dressing as a Superman. But thank you for answering the question. Let's go to the follow question, a little bit harder. If you can choose 2 parents, which 2 parents would you choose? It can be 2 women, 2 boys. It can be movies, books. Yeah, it can be stars, celebrity stars.
David Attenborough.
Interesting.
And who am I gonna make David Attenborough marry? I don't know.
Wonder Woman.
If I could bring him back from the dead, I'd have Albert Einstein. 2 extremely intelligent men. Yes, I would learn so much from them.
Then we have probably next generation bug bounty hunter here.
Exactly.
Well, let's go to the following question. What will be your weapon of choice? It can be real weapons or it can be the science fiction weapons.
My weapon of choice. I would like to have what's his name from Star Wars? Emperor Palpatine, where he can shoot electric from his hands. I would like to have that.
Everyone is choosing lightsaber or death. It's always Star Wars.
Exactly.
Everyone loves Star Wars. Where's Game of Thrones, guys? Come on, Game of Thrones.
If I'm honest, I've never seen a single Game of Thrones.
Really?
Never. It's
really an amazing movie.
Yeah,
I probably will watch it again with my children if I have children later.
Yeah.
In a game of scissor, paper, and rock, what will be your first choice?
Scissor.
Yeah, you are.
Or I normally lose because most people go rock to begin with.
Yeah,
But what?
true.
Yeah, but that's why I try to think further ahead because everyone's always thinking, they're probably going to go rock. So that's why everyone always goes scissor. But then they're going to think, no, actually, I'm going to go paper. And yeah, scissor. I never win. So don't follow my tactic.
Well, you are. There are not many people chosen scissor. They always chose rock. So yeah, you
Damn it,
really.
I've lost.
Yeah, but at least you were right about your idea that they always chose rock. So yeah, you were thinking great.
Always go paper unless you're playing against me. All right.
Yeah, yeah. I had a talk with someone else last week, and he exactly said the same. That he chose paper because yeah, he also said everybody chose rock. So
See,
I
he's the
chose paper.
person that I'm trying to catch out because I'm like I say, everyone always goes rock, so those people always go paper, and I always try to catch them out because it's like, how I'm not going rock, I'm going scissors, but then they end up going rock, and I lose.
I see the chat from my stream that someone says you spared yourself time by not watching Game of Thrones. I don't agree with that. Yeah, okay. The last season is indeed not.
Oh, it's not one of those, is it? Where you get to
Yeah, the last
episode,
season is.
season. Oh no, I hate those.
It is great, but you could see that they had to finish because time was losing or something, and yeah, they just straight forward everything the last season, and that's the only downside. But all the other seasons are really great. But yeah, let's go to the final question.
Okay.
What would be your ultimate hacker name? You are the first person on Earth who can register a hacker name. What would it be?
ZSEANO, of course. I'm always going to be ZSEANO. That's my name. I wouldn't change it. Yeah, I like it.
Well, now, thank you for answering those 5 questions.
You're welcome.
Yeah, let's go to the chat. Let me spin up the chat. There are no questions on YouTube. Let me check the Discord. Twitch. Yeah, I have one question here. So someone is asking the following: Recon is a big part of bug bounty. How to not fall into that deep pit and perform an effective recon? Also coming out with sensitive information.
So it's about like knowing what to do with that data. So it's all fair scanning for subdomains, brute forcing for directories and files and things like that. But this is why I actually do my recon last, because I don't want to give myself too much data and too much to start with. So that's why I start with the main web application and understand how things work, because then when I do my subdomain scans and you see what certain things are called, like developer, the whatever, you can then start to think, well, okay, how is this connected to the main website and things like that? And that's where you can like cherry pick out which websites and things you should spend time on, basically. So yeah, that's why the more you spend on a program and website and the more you learn about it, when you are doing recon and scanning for things and looking on GitHub and dorking around, you're going to be like I say, more effective and cherry picking out what it is you want to get from that data, basically.
Well, thank you for answering that question, and I hope it answered this question. Let's go to the following one. Yeah, I have a question inside the story, so I will just read the story. It's not long.
Sure.
Bayback always confused me. I get a lot of things, and then I end up with a blank, not knowing what to do next. And then his question is, what can I work with after finding those URLs?
So obviously, I presume you're running way back URLs to find all the old school URLs. So that's where, again, this is where it leads on to, in my opinion, another tool, because you should be checking for what was on those pages in the history. Are there any interesting JavaScript variables and things like that? But it's also should be first of all, why are you scanning for those way back URLs? So a lot of people didn't actually scan Wayback Machine and things like that until I mentioned, I can't remember which conference or talk it was, but where I basically told everyone, yeah, I was scanning Wayback Machine for all of TripAdvisor's robot.txt files across numerous years and then doing whatever. But the reason why I did that is because I wanted to see how different were these websites from the past. Like, and that's why I use robots, because in 2017 they had all these endpoints, but what did they have in 2016, 2017, 2015, 2014, etc., etc. So that's why I scanned for all of their robots things and went from there on, basically. So when you are scanning on Wayback, and this also goes to the first question when you're running tools, understand why it is you're running it and what it is you're wanting to find. Do you want to extract parameters from this Wayback data to then use on the current website? Do you want to visit each of these Wayback URLs and see which ones are still alive, see which ones still function and still have things on them, and going through there? What a lot of people do is they get so much data from numerous tools and they just kind of don't know what to do, or do you know what I mean? So that's why try to understand basically why it is you're running and is the tool that is you're running, really. So yeah, hopefully that answers it.
Yeah, thank you for answering the question, and I also hope that answered this question. Yeah, let me find the following question. I saw some popping up. Yes, here I have one. Do you have any tips for note taking, and what application slash software do you suggest for note taking?
So I just use Sublime Text Editor to write my notes. Just write just box standard Markdown in text editor. How do I categorize them? So everyone can write their notes differently. It's something I mentioned in my methodology book, but it's all about what works for you. So when I'm writing notes, a lot of people, when they're writing, for example, when people write notes, they will write down step by step what they're trying and what they're doing. But for me, when I'm writing notes, I typically write down stuff that's giving me a headache, that doesn't work, but my hacker senses are telling me there's something interesting here. You need to come back to this. And I'll write information around what this is, what I'm expecting it to happen, and things like that. I always write down, always write down parameter names and endpoints. Always extract those, because you can add them to a giant word list, because these parameters might be used on other websites. Like I say, and then you won't be using all the public word lists out there. You'll be creating your own word list over time. So, for example, I've got a word list where I've hunted on TripAdvisor, Amazon, PayPal, for example, and all the parameters that I'm finding are in a giant list. And over time, yeah, you have a nice list of parameters that have got high success rate.
Well, thank you for answering the question. I hope it answered his question. Let's go to the following. Yes, here I have one. What's your opinion about offensive security certifications, for example, OSWE?
I mean, I've never taken any exam or anything like that, so I can't give an opinion on what the course material is like or whether it's worth it as such. I actually know how much it is or anything like that as well. I'm now having a look, actually. Okay, wow. So if you want to do your OSWE for 60-day lab access, 1,300. Wow. I can't give an opinion on what the course is like as such, or whether it would help for bug bounty, being brutally honest, but I personally don't have any certifications or anything like that, so I believe it is possible without doing that, in my opinion. Because honestly, a lot of, even though, I mean, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot as such, but I don't run Bug Bounty Hunter just for the money. But you don't actually need to spend money to learn hacking. Like, obviously, I mean, you can pay for Bug Bounty Hunter and you get access to Barker and things like that. But so much material out there is for free, like WebSec Academy, Dan Vulnerable Web App. There's so many videos, tutorials that honestly, if you really, really put your mind to it, you can learn hacking without spending a dime. Like, I'm not, I've done it. Lots of people have done it. In terms of getting a job, because I can see here that it says he's asked, will it help for bug bounties? I don't know if it will help for bug bounties, but I do know getting a certification will help you get a job, because a lot of companies, people say it's gatekeeping, and I can understand it, but a lot of companies will require you to have some sort of certification to work for them. So that's where they can come in handy and help you out, really.
Yeah, thank you for answering that question. Perhaps I can also give a short answer on Luis K2. I have currently the certification that you are mentioning there. Yeah, for bug bounty, yeah, it is more. I cannot talk deeply about it. I want to hold the certification and not lose it, of course. But yeah, it's mostly focusing on analyzing source code. So yeah, for bug bounty, you do not, I think, have many opportunities to read the source code. It's more trial and error and knowing what to do, of course, without the source code. I think eLearn Security, for example, also provides web security course, I think. And I heard from a friend of mine that that is more focusing on finding bugs and bug bounty part. So
yeah,
if you want a certification, then yeah, try eLearn Security perhaps. And if you want source code analyze, and perhaps, as ZSEANO already mentioned, if you want a job, yeah, then you can probably go for OSWE, as it can be handy then. But for bug bounty, I do not really think it will be help. Yeah, you can read source code, but it's yeah. Yeah, but thank you for answering that question, ZSEANO. I hope it answered his question. Yeah, let's go to the follow-up question. How do you categorize everything that you find?
Well, it depends on like what I'm finding as such. So like with my note taking, like I say, as I'm hunting through the web application, I'm just writing down things as it's coming interesting to me and what I want it, like what I'm expecting and things like that. Yeah, in all honesty, it's the same with my timekeeping. My notes are. I've seen some people's notes, and they are amazing. But with my notes, in all honesty, I write things like "Do not effing forget this. Do not effing lose this." Things like that.
I know the
feeling.
feeling.
I'm just in the moment. That's just how I write it, and I seem to understand it. So that's kind of how I do it. But it's what works for you, really, kind of just a guy. So let's say, for example, you're testing Apple, and here's a challenge for you, just a guy. If you want to practice writing your notes and you want to try find some bug bounties, go find every single subdomain on Apple which allows you to log in and register, and test the login flow on every single app and see what happens.
Good luck.
That will give you time to practice your notes, because you can say, right, well, on this subdomain, I found that there was this and this and this. Compared to this subdomain, I found this parameter, this wasn't here. You can then start comparing and things like that. And in all honesty, if you come back to me and Mystico in 6 months, and you generally have just focused on Amazon and login flows and things like that and user accounts, I bet you would have found a bug and hopefully a nice bounty. So if you do it, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We are always happy to hear your story and your journey. Perhaps we can also learn from you. I don't know. Perhaps it's always great to share information with each other. We are all a big family. I always tell people.
Yeah, amen.
So yeah, I hope it answered your question. Let's go to the last question, I think. Yeah. What's the most common functionality you always try to exploit? So the thing you going for first.
Well, I mean, there's not any like one that I go to straight away. I just literally take the site as at face value. So let's say, for example, when I was looking at Amazon.com, I already had an Amazon account, but I made a brand new Amazon account. Looked into what they allowed me to enter as my name, what were they filtering, how does this work, what's going on. Like I say, so So the question he's asking, like, what's the most common functionality? What you'll discover is a lot of websites all work the same. So once you can understand the flow and how things work and the concept, then you'll realize that you're going to find a lot of similar things on other websites. And that's when you really will pick up hacking, and you'll realize, oh, this isn't actually as tough as it seems as such. But most common, let's say, for example, you've got developer stuff. So webhook, again, that makes me instantly think SSRF. Uploading photos. What else can I upload? Have they got mobile apps? I've been hacking a long time, so to me it kind of is just like second nature to think about all of these things. But in all honesty, use websites as a normal user would, but with a hacker mindset. So when you are purchasing something, how is this purchasing flow actually working? Because go look on Amazon.com, and when you buy something, you'll see. No, it's not Amazon.com. I won't mention the website actually because it's actually a private program, but there's a bingo website, and you'll see that they don't handle the payment stuff themselves. And there's an endpoint where on the URLs, there's parameters where they are controlling the payment URL and things like that, and you can start messing around with it. So go through the site, what's at face value, what's in front of you, go through it. Trust me, you write notes, and if you test the site completely from top to finish, head to toe, go through everything with a fine comb, and you're writing your notes down, the functionality that you're playing with and what you're finding, you will pick it up quickly. Trust me. Just don't give up too quickly. That's what a lot of people do. They give up too quickly. They don't find a lot, or they dupe, or do you know what I mean? Don't give up too quick.
I know that.
I've been there as well.
Thank you for answering that question. Yeah, it's the last question, I think. I don't see any more questions popping up. I also saw a while ago, I don't know how long ago, that people were talking about CTFs. Just something really fast and soon. We Mystico are making a 24/7 CTF, so we will always be online, and we will, we will release a new challenge every week. So every week there will be a new challenge, and I will try to stream the solution the end of the week, so you all can watch the solution and learn from it. And of course, try it before you watch the solution. It's my recommendation, of course. But I shared the website on the screen. You can see it. If you want to play with the CTF, you are welcome to join. It's free. Sign up and join. We have 3 challenges at the moment. There will be coming more. We are still busy with the environment running. So, yeah, that's just what I want to say. I hope you all will join and have fun.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely everyone check it out. It sounds really cool and awesome. I'll definitely be checking it out as well, mate.
Yeah, thank you. It's still in development, so please, any bug you find, report. But we are working hard on it to hopefully fully run it the end of this week. But till then, just sign up and play and let me know if you can find anything and if you like it. And if you have some favor you want, like you want this challenge to be there, like web analyze or source code analyze, just hit me up and I will ask the people who are working on it to make source code analyze challenge, if you like that. Just an example. But a nudge about that. We are not here for that. It's just I see one more question popping up at the last moment. Do you have any resource book recommendations besides your own ZSEANO methodology? Of course, that's a great book. Do you also have more books that you read or resources that you?
So Pete Jaworski's Web Application Hacker Handbook, Web Application 101, whatever it's called. I can't remember the exact name off the top of my head here. That's a great book to read through disclosed issues and how things are explained. And also Andy Gill's Learning the Ropes 101. His handle's Zephyrfish. I can't remember these names of these books on top of my head. But yeah, those 2 books, Pete Jaworski's and Andy Gill's, I recommend both their books. And I believe they're both free at this current time as well. Yeah, they're really great. I highly recommend checking them out. I'll drop a link on Twitch for everyone real quickly. So that is Andy Gills breaking into InfoSec, and Pete Jaworski's is his web hacking 101. Which I believe you can get for free from HackerOne, or it is here on LeanPub. But I believe you can get it for free on HackerOne. They used to have that, I believe.
I know that book. I saw it before. Yeah, I think it's a great. I have not read the book, but yeah.
Apparently, HackerOne claims if you visit this link and log into your account, then they'll email you a free copy.
Yeah,
let's put it in Twitch chat. It's a great book from Pete, and Pete is he's not as active in bug bounties at the moment, because obviously he works for Shopify, and life commitments and whatever else, but it's a really good book. Pieces things together, explains things and things like that. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. And Andy Gills, a really, really talented pen tester. And if you literally have no knowledge about hacking whatsoever, so you don't even know what like port scanning is, then check out Andy Gills breaking into InfoSec, because he explains things in a nice amount of detail and can really hold your hand and help you get started, basically. And then to all the other viewers, after you've read them, you then should receive an invite to Bug Bounty Hunter, and then you can read my methodology, and there you go.
Yeah, for those who have been watching some times ago, you know it. Base 64.
You know what's up.
I'm also reading this book. I don't know if you know it. I can share on my screen. I don't know if I can find it. Yeah, I found it. Here it is. I don't know if you can see it now in the screen in a few seconds. It's this book. I don't know if you see it. Let me know. Yeah, it takes some time because of the delay.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I still just see nothing on.
I think it's coming now.
Here we go.
Yes. I'm reading this book at the moment. I don't know if you know it.
Okay, yeah, no, I can't say. Hang on, real world bug hunting. I did read recently from the Hackerish. His was a really good book. Real world bug hunting. I love how I've just typed that in Google, and the first link is this. You got to pay for this content, I presume. Or is it free?
Yeah, I always prefer physical books above virtual books.
Is the PDF free though? Because the first link is.
I think the PDF is free, but I don't know. Yeah, I always go for physical copies, as I'm already watching enough screens on a day.
Wait, Real World Bug Hunting. That's Pete Jaworski's. You've got the hard copy of it. Yeah, that's Pete Jaworski's book. Yeah. I was getting confused there. I was like, hang on. Sorry.
Oh yeah, someone in the chat also mentioned it. Pete's old book. It's an update of his old book.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, this is actually a book I've not actually read then. This isn't his other book. This is different.
Yeah, it's an update, I think. I have not read the old book, so I do not know. But
okay.
I need to start with reading this book. But I heard great stories so far. So yeah, that's why I bought it. I was thinking, yeah, let's give it a try. It was a Christmas gift for me, so
Awesome.
I was thinking, yeah, why not? Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Hackerish. So it's like a made-up scenario of somebody joining bug bounties, and I can resonate with a few of the comments and things in there. There's not like too much technical as such, but it's still a good read. It's not a lot of money. It's good to support people. So yeah.
Yeah, you're totally right. It's 2007. Is it 2007?
Yeah.
It says 2019 here. Weird.
Okay, interesting.
If you Google the book, it says 2019, but okay, never mind.
Weird.
Yeah, weird Google. Someone hacked Google. Help. Yeah, I think we are at the end of this session. Yeah, for those who are watching from the beginning, don't forget to send me your mail so I can forward it. If you don't send me your mail, yeah, then I can help you. Yeah, you can send him a private tweet, but that won't help.
Yeah, and I'll keep an eye out for your message.
Yeah.
To invite everyone.
Yeah, again, thank you for giving me this opportunity, and of course, the ones who were watching at that moment. Yeah, and of course,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I want to thank you for doing this with me. I appreciate your time and effort to be here with me, answer my questions, answer the questions from the people, and yeah, for those who are watching, I hope you all enjoyed this session and had a great time. And yeah, of course.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate you having me and having this opportunity to be able to talk to people, answer questions, and help people. I really appreciate it. I really love the content that you create and the things that you do for the community, mate. So keep up the great work. It's really appreciative. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I can say the same to you. Keep going with your own platform and your book and yeah, your videos sometimes. And I hope.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope we will hear more from you in the future, but I think we do. I do not doubt that. And yeah, again, thank you so much. And I don't know what time it is there, but yeah.
It's 20 to 9. I'm going to hop in the shower and have a relaxation evening now. I've got a few emails and things to do, but yeah, it's later.
Well, then I wish you a great evening already in advance. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and you, mate. You take care. I wish you all the best.
Yeah, same for you. And remember, 8 hours sleep.
Yeah, and you, mate. Take care. Thank you very much. See you later.
Take care.
See you later.
See you later. Bye-bye. Yeah, for those who are watching, again, thank you all. It was really an amazing session with ZSEANO.